Mr. Speaker, as we speak now, we are having issues with communication. People try to call and the network is bad. People are calling me from the constituency in Efia and they're saying that my phone is off, yet my phone is on. And you are unable to even get these committees where we can go and handle the matters with the Minister for Communication.
But you can go to the Minister personally.
No, Mr. Speaker, the committees are supposed to perform oversight roles in the House. It is better to use the committees so that we can handle these matters. And the Minister of Communication is out there closing FM stations instead of making sure that we get some of these issues addressed. So, Mr. Speaker, let's get the committees out by
next week. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. From Isaac Boama, let me come to Yao Boama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Majority Leader, I know you are busy preparing your answers, but I want you to listen to this bit. NGAS has formally notified the Volta River Authority of its decision to suspend supply to Ghana due to outstanding arrears, raising concerns over the country's energy security in a letter addressed to the Managing Director of VRA on Tuesday, February 18. NGAS stated that effective March 6, 2025, it will cease further deliveries in line with clause 13.
Hold on. Yes, Leader.
So, Speaker, I hate to do this because he's a very senior member of this House. If there is a communication has to come to the Speaker, and the Speaker will convey the communication to the House. If you have an urgent question for a Minister for Energy, please ask your urgent question for the Minister for Energy. Communication coming from a private entity has no right to be brought to our attention without it going through the proper processes. So I beg of my senior colleague that he should refrain from what he is doing, and all that he has read should be expunged from the records. Because this is a formal communication that he is trying to use the back door to bring to the attention of the House. Please, let's do what is right. There is a business that has been presented, a program for next week. You debate the details of that program, you accept or you reject. That is what we should be doing. But if there's a communication from a private entity, and you want to bring it to the attention of the House, there's a procedure for doing that. Please.
I think, Boama, I think you are right. Friends, Leader is right.
No, Mr. Speaker.
No,
I'm not delivering a statement from a private entity. I was laying a foundation based on a newspaper article. This is the new Business News of Ghana, dated 21st, February 2025, which has the exchange rates and other business news of the country.
So what I'm saying is, the issue is raising
I was
is that
laying the foundation to the effect that we are going to be confronted with some energy security issues.
Yes.
And that if the Minister of Energy could be programmed to come and brief the House.
That is as a member of the House, you know what to do. I mean, you have observed this or you have read this news item. You can bring the minister here on urgent question to address, or you can even make a statement. Based on the statement, we can invite the minister to come and address the House.
Mr. Speaker, rightly so. I'm just serving notice that we would want the minister to appear before the House to speak on this very important energy security. I'll be filing a question too.
File the question. File an urgent question on that. Yes, member for Menchia South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the continuous refusal or default to constitute or delay
Is it the same matter?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, go on.
Mr. Speaker, there is a fundamental infraction of the Constitution of this country and the standing orders of this House by the delay in constituting the standing committees of this House, the select committees of this House. Mr. Speaker, when you look at Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution, Mr. Speaker, with your liberty I read, it says that Parliament shall appoint standing committees and other committees as may be necessary for the effective discharge of its function. Mr. Speaker, the procedure for taking this step, very respectfully, is provided for by 204. Indeed, not just the step, the approach, but also the timing. Mr. Speaker, I will again take your liberty to read the Standing Orders 204, which is titled Appointment and Composition of Committees. Mr. Speaker, it says that 2041 says, at the first meeting of the first session of Parliament, there shall be appointed standing and select committees of the House for the effective and efficient exercise of the powers and performance of the functions of Parliament, in accordance with Article 103 of the Constitution.
So we are in the first meeting?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. We are about, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, let's listen to him. Let's listen to him. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we are about to vet another batch of ministers. Mr. Speaker, under Standing Orders 217, for the appointment committee to be complete, Mr. Speaker, we need the committees in place. Mr. Speaker, the committees are not in place. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, we think that we cannot support the continuous breach of the standing orders of this House. Mr. Speaker, unless
Honourable member,
the Constitution,
Honourable member,
Mr.
what
Speaker.
you read to the House, I don't think there's any breach.
Mr. Speaker, there is a breach. Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, if you may allow me. Mr. Speaker, 2052. Mr. Speaker, keep quiet and listen. Mr. Speaker, 2052. Mr. Speaker,
Honourable members, you get the opportunity to speak, please.
The Committee of Selection, 2052.
Honourable member, hold on. Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. Speaker, I rise in pursuance of Order 1221. Hey, Mr. Speaker, this is a House of Records. If the honourable member is minded to anchor his submission on the fact that some committees are yet to be properly constituted, he should say so. Please, Mr. Speaker, please. I've tried to listen to him in quietude. He should learn to listen to me in quietude. The point I am making is that it is inaccurate, most inaccurate, for him to say bluntly that committees have not been formed, that there is a refusal to constitute committees. That cannot be accurate. If he intends to say that some committees, the formation are not yet complete, he should say so. In any case, this matter was addressed just yesterday. He has not cited a single provision that says that the committee formation is time bound, but so and so and so and so. He has not. Now, the point is that during the first sitting of the first meeting of Parliament, some committees are statutorily, mandatorily composed. It is those committees whose further duty and mandate it is to constitute the committees of Parliament.
So, Honourable Member, you came under
Mr.
a
Speaker,
point of order.
Mr. Speaker, my point is that he has misinformed the House. He should withdraw and make his point that it is some committees, not all committees, some committees.
Mr. Speaker. No, I was on my feet. I was on my feet. I was on my feet. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Oh, I know.
Who said I'm the problem? Who said that?
Speaker, it's important our colleagues pay attention to our observations. This is a normal practice. Business statement is presented. We make input into the business statement. You have to tolerate, please, with all respect. Speaker, back to my whip, Majority Chief Whip. 2 speakers have ruled on this matter I want to raise, on business statement. Business statement is always at large. And the majority leader is a capable hand. In fact, for the fleeting period we've dealt with him, he's shown competence and leadership. I'm wondering why the Chief Whip will come in on a point of order 122. I mean, what is that? With the greatest respect to him. No, a matter has been raised which is germane, relevant, and let's allow the majority leader to respond accordingly. He can't come on a point of order, Mr. Speaker. He cannot. He is rather disrupting the process.
We
should allow him to speak. Let him make his observation.
Majority Whip, please. Honorable Dafiamepo, you should address me. I gave you the floor. So just ignore what he said. I mean, yes. Don't worry.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please. That issue has been raised by Asafoje, has been raised by Isaac Buama. Please, just.
Mr. Speaker, very respectfully, it's a serious matter for a member of the House to be accused of misleading the House. And so, Mr. Speaker, I'm referring the House to Standing Order 2052. Mr. Speaker, and it reads, the Committee of Selection shall prepare a report to the House within the first 10 sitting days after appointment. The list of members to compose the standing and select committees of the House. This is the 20th sitting, Mr. Speaker, and the list of members to compose the committees. Mr. Speaker, it's not. Mr. Speaker, we are speaking for them. 180 people, only about 52 of you have gotten appointment. You are frustrated. It shows on your faces. We are fighting for you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable. Yes. Leader, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, when we come to this House, let's take our time and learn. Mr. Speaker, he just said that members on this side are frustrated. Even if you said they look frustrated, it's not right. Mr. Speaker, And he says that they are looking frustrated because they haven't had appointments. Mr. Speaker, everybody on this side campaigned on a promise that we will not have more than 60 ministers. All of us. We knew very well that only maximum 60 of us will make it as ministers. We campaigned on that, and we won the election on that. And we are happy we won the elections on that. Mr. Speaker, this side is okay. We are satisfied. We are satisfied. We are satisfied with the numbers. Indeed, this side of the house, with those who have agreed to do business with us, we are 188 in number because of that promise. Because we promised to Ghanaians that we will make it only 60. Mr. Speaker, so it is wrong for anybody on this other side, led by their leader, to keep alluding to the size of the number of ministers and the question of appointments in this chamber. I want to place it on record that this side is satisfied. We have no issue with not being made ministers. Indeed, several people have called me and said, no, the leader of government business and the majority leader should be a ministerial appointment. I want to say here and place on record that I don't want to be a minister. I don't see how being a minister changes the role of a leader of government business. A leader of government business is a leader of government business. You sit in cabinet, you listen to the debate in cabinet, so that when you come here, you can communicate the decisions of cabinet effectively. You can lead the house to debate the position. So we are not worried about not being ministers. We are not. We are content. Yesterday I was in cabinet. What is the difference? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? So, Mr. Speaker, let this debate about number of ministers end today. Let it end today. When I go to respond to your issues, I will address all the questions being asked. But he should first withdraw the statement or expunge from the record the statement that members on this side are frustrated.
I mean, leader, I don't think that one calls for. But I believe there is an invitation to treat to the leader, a minority leader. So, minority leader, I think invariably he has invited you. Yes, minority leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, the chief whip of the mighty minority has some few matters to raise, and I've noticed that some of my colleagues also have some issues to raise. The majority leader has indeed extended an invitation, and that invitation shall be attended to at the right and appropriate time. Suffice to state that behind him is massive frustration.
Honorable members, please, whatever comment you want to make should relate to the business statement. We don't.
Mr. Speaker, most respectfully, two speakers of this House have ruled on matters that come up at business statement comments. Mr. Speaker, the Right Honorable Michael Quay said that business statements and comments arising thereto are always alleged. Mr. Bagbin, Right Honorable Speaker Bagbin, re-echoed that position. And our friends, the NDC, the minority, 8 parliament, as they were. You were in minority. By the grace of God, you are now in majority. Led by the chief whip. Roxanne Kwame Eche de Fiamekpo, who was in the middle bench at the time, led that charge. When, Mr. Speaker, on Fridays, they will spend time to raise all issues. Oh, he's smiling. This thing called karma, eh? And the majority leader himself, he was the chief legal advisor to the team. And he will spy me and he will be passing his notes. Mr. Speaker, we've seen it all. I was in that hot seat. What are you saying today? You want to set a new precedence? Emfa and de, emfa echina. The assessor ya kebia ya beka. Munya butrench. Yeah, kasa, Mr. Speaker, this is not the time to now tell us that business statement, confine yourself and whatever. Your colleagues behind you feel very frustrated. We are aware. I'm not saying you are frustrated, but you feel frustrated is obvious. You don't need to tell me. I can see your frustration.
Thank you.
But Mr. Speaker,
thank you, leader.
So we'll allow colleagues to make their comments, and before we come in, thank you.
What did you say? If you have something to say, get up on your feet. I'll give you the opportunity. But it appears, honorable members, this time we are commenting on the business statement. It's not restricted to only the minority. If you have any issue, you have the right to get up and also raise the issue. Yes. Yes, Professor Nyako.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for indulging me to make some few observations. Number one, when our respected majority leader was making the statement on the business for next week, he said that members should be in the House latest by 9:15, and that the doors should be shut to anybody or any member who comes in afterwards. Mr. Speaker, this is news to me. I don't know whether there is insecurity in this country or on the premises. Being in this chamber for at least a term, 4 years, and this has not been done. So I would like him to explain to us why this new restriction of members coming here before 9:15. We need an explanation, unless there's something that we don't know. Otherwise, this is completely unfair to us. Look at number two. It has been in the news on Tuesday that the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation has mandated the National Communications Authority to take steps to suspend the licenses of 6 media houses, and one of them, the 7th one, has been shut down. Mr. Speaker, I find this directive to be completely unacceptable because if you read the Electronic Communications Act 2008, if you indulge me, Section 13(3) And I read, where the authority decides to suspend or revoke a license or authorization, the authority shall
Honorable Professor Nyako, I'm not cutting it short. This is an issue. You can bring the minister here to respond. So I think you have the tool. You have the tool to bring the minister here, either on an urgent question or by a statement. So I find it a bit difficult, I must confess. It's like my brother Yabuama, the issue he raised. I mean, the ministers are there to serve the nation, and they do that by at times responding to certain issues you raise. So this is a fundamental issue, and I share with you. But I think this time, for me, is not appropriate. Fine, you've raised it, fine, you've all noted it, but I think you should do well by bringing the minister here to respond to you and by extension to the nation. So I will urge you to file an urgent question.
Mr. Speaker, with respect to the Governor's office, in the 8th Parliament, during the time for business statement, members requested ministers to appear before us. Mr. Speaker, you were here. Most times you were in the chair. And this was done where our colleagues on Fridays requested that ministers appear before the House to respond to some of these issues. So it's not new. I'm not doing something new.
So by what you are doing, what do you seek to achieve with this?
My point is that there is tension out there. Yes. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying that we need the minister to be here, to be invited to be here, to let us know the rationale behind the decision that he's taking.
So how are you going to invite the minister?
Through your good self. To your good self. To your good self to do that. To your good self.
Prof, I know you are experienced, and we should know how to bring the minister here. Right? So I'm giving you a clue. Please file an urgent question so that it will immediately be dispatched to the minister to come.
My next observation, I yield to your judgment, because I want to put on record that this is not the first time such a request is being made, but I yield to you because of your experience. My other and last issue has to do on item C, statements. I remember yesterday or the day before, you did say that statements should be of a maximum length of 2 pages. But I also think that statements are important for us and also for future references in terms of research. That is why I'm pleading with us that we need to encourage the writing of statements grounded in research. What we can do is that we can, as we do it when we are laying reports, that the report should be captured in its entirety whilst we read certain portions of the report. So I respectfully request that limiting statement to only 2 pages wouldn't help us. We can't do meaningful research to guide us into the future. Otherwise, we are suggesting that we are just making fun of statements. But you spend time to do thorough research. 2 pages or less, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, is not the best. Let us agree on the quality, regardless of content. But we can on the floor just give excerpts while the HANA department captures the entirety of the statement.
Well, honorable member.
Thank you.
Honorable member.
Please.
Honorable member, let me refer you to our standing orders 94. 94. The time for statements shall ordinarily not exceed 1 hour, except that the speaker may permit statements and comment outside the prescribed period in exceptional cases. At times we may have, today we are going to take at least 4 or 5 statements. and the statements, at times the comment alone can take a lot of time. So if leadership and the House do not manage the statements, and yesterday, the last 3 days, one statement, 6 pages, and I realized that the maker of the statement himself, when he was reading, was even tired. So if we decide to manage the statement in such a way that a lot of members can get the opportunity to make statements and to comment, I don't think it's out of place. I don't know. As much as I share your view, let's also look at the interests of all members. Because a lot of people today, we have as many as about 10 statements here. And everybody is so desirous to read his statement, his or her statement. So that's why we are trying to come out with at least a policy that a statement should not exceed 2 pages. I mean, we went to secondary school, do this, we did summary. And you put the salient areas in the statement in such a way that it will catch what you want to portray. So, Professor, I think you've raised a fundamental issue, but I think for the good of the House, let's go by what we intend to do. Nobody from this side? Leader, will you respond to them so that we take a second batch? Very well.
You can add some responses to it.
Honorable members, please, a lot of issues has been raised. Let the leader respond to them. You take another batch of comments, then he comes back. So, leader, the floor is yours now.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee indicated that some questions have been scheduled for the week, 21 oral and 2 urgent questions. Some of the matters that honorable members are raising can be the subject of urgent questions. You can ask urgent questions. That's why the Business Committee has programmed question time. So you can ask urgent questions of the ministers. And once the Speaker admits them as urgent questions, he can get the ministers here to answer those questions. The issue of committees, yes. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Committee of Selection has been formed already, and that committee is the Speaker's committee. So the issue of the work of the Committee of Selection is the responsibility of the Speaker. So we will convey your concerns about the timing of the composition of committees to the Right Honorable Speaker. I think that your concerns are legitimate, that we should speed up the process and have the committees inaugurated or established early so that they can assist with the business of the House. But on the question of the claim that we have violated the Constitution, you can see that the Constitution in Article 103 says that the Standing Committee shall be appointed at the first meeting. But in the standing orders, there's an attempt to derogate from that and to impose specific timelines. But if you read the Justice Abdullahi case, you will know that if the Constitution is very clear on the matter, and you go in your standing orders and you place restrictions on that matter, it's very easy for anyone to declare those provisions as being inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution. So far as I am concerned, the Constitution says first meeting, and we are still in the first meeting of Parliament. And so you cannot question the conduct of the Speaker, because the Speaker's committee, the Speaker is the chairman of the Committee of Selection. So to question the conduct of the business of the Committee of Selection is to question the conduct of the Speaker. And I discourage you from questioning the conduct of the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, on the issue of statements, yes, I think it is important for us to pay attention to Order 93. Order 93 says that by the indulgence of the House and leave of the Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal nature, or a statement on a matter of urgent public importance. A matter of urgent public importance. So there are two things that your statement must cover: personal matter, urgent public nature. Why would you spend 6 pages explaining a matter of urgent public nature? Or why would you use 6 pages to explain a personal matter? So let's be guided by what statements are about. They are about personal matters and also urgent public matters, and that is why you should be brief. In fact, in some jurisdictions, it is 1 page. The Canadian Parliament, I'm told, you cannot exceed 1 page. In some jurisdictions, they just give you a few minutes to make those statements, so that as many statements as possible can be taken on a day. And so we are trying to streamline these matters and insist that be brief about it, because if it's an urgent public matter, you don't need 6 pages to tell us what an urgent public matter is. Or if it's a personal matter concerning your constituency, you don't need 6 pages. If you have a thesis you want to give to us to study, you can give us a statement and attach the thesis and refer us to the thesis to go and read later on. So I can understand the interest of professors in writing thesis. And so if you have a thesis you want to share with us, you can bring us the 2-page statement and then refer us to your thesis and then beg that your thesis should be captured as part of the Hansard of the House. Mr. Speaker, I think that these are the 2 critical issues that have been raised by the committee members. But people should know that the business committee is made up of representation from both sides. So when the business committee is going for its meeting, you can always communicate to your members matters that you think should be part of the business. And they will raise it with us at the business committee meeting and we'll program it. And then also program yourself to ask questions. And then also use the opportunity to make statements of some urgent public importance, such as the statement that he was going to make about the communication he was going to read about the energy situation may actually be a matter of urgent public importance. But it's not for business statement. You can come tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, and then make an urgent statement. And we will discuss it. Yes, and this was the chair of the majority leader. And he always drew our attention to these issues as well. So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. So, Honorable, we take the last batch of questions.
He left out one question that I asked.
Prof, enough is enough. Let me give other members. Let me give other members opportunity, please.
He forgot.
Mr. Speaker, there was something about the time to be here and then the security arrangements. At all times, this has always been the security arrangements. It has always been the case that when the president is here, we have different security arrangements to take care of the presence of the president here and then the vice president and the chief justice and others. And you know that somehow the drummers will be here and then there will be restriction in terms of the movement in and out of the chamber. And we encourage all the time that MPs should come early, be seated so that we start on time. And this is an arrangement that the clerk has always put in place. This is not the first time that these arrangements are being made.
Thank you very much. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And afterwards, no, you have spoken. I wouldn't give. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I'm followed up on the security arrangements. So if we come on time, and we are supposed to be out for some nature call of, are we going to be allowed in?
Is it a comment or a question? Honorable Akwa, is it a question or comment?
No, it's a follow-up. It's a follow-up to the security arrangements.
Well,
a follow-up to the security arrangements.
Leader.
Are we going to be confined to our chairs?
Leader, please listen to him so that you please.
Majority Leader, I was asking that if we come in on time and we're supposed to attend to nature's call or move outside, are we going to be allowed in, or we are going to be confined to our chairs?
Yes, Dr. Kabilu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. First, I would want to commend the Business Committee for capturing 3 of my several questions to be asked of different ministers, and I want to commend them highly for letting my questions find expression in the business statement for the ensuing week. Mr. Speaker, that's it. My second issue has to do with the response or a comment made by my senior brother and respected leader of the House, Honorable Mahama Ayarga. He announced to this House that he sat in cabinet. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution of the Republic, Article 76, states, there shall be, with your indulgence, I'll read, there shall be a cabinet which shall consist of the President, the Vice President, and not less than 10 and not more than 19 ministers of state. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Majority Leader is not a minister of state. He will need to be appointed as a minister responsible for parliamentary business to have the local standing to be in cabinet. Mr. Speaker, my brother is just drawing our attention to a clear violation of the Constitution. Unless he was there as an observer. If he was there as an observer, Mr. Speaker, then he should communicate it as such. If he was a member of cabinet, then it's a violation of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker. And he has to be
Mr. Speaker. Yes.
Time without number. Members from our section have drawn the attention of leaders responsible for elections, leaders responsible for security, to this very issue, to make every effort to finish the counting for declaration to be made, so that the good people of Ablekuma North could also have their representation here in this House. Technically speaking, the people of Ablekuma North are being disenfranchised. As a result of the fact that people who are responsible for the election, for declaration of election, are refusing to perform their duty. I believe that this is very serious, and we need a solution, a one-time solution to this problem.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm just going to add to the issue my brother have raised, the honorable member raised. If you look at this issue of Ablekuma North, you realize that on the 24th of January, my big brother, the honorable majority leader, said that he was going to follow. He promised that he was going to follow up and brief the House later. Mr. Speaker.
But he has done that.
Yes, he said that. He said
he has briefed the House.
No, he hasn't briefed the House, Mr. Speaker. He said he will come again and brief the House about the issue on the 24th. Mr. Speaker, today is 21st of February. Almost 1 month.
And the president is coming to brief the House.
Almost 1 month. The majority leader has not briefed the House. And the president.
Thank you.
The president will be in the House to brief of the State of the Nation address. And I think this issue has to be updated, and we need to get a member of parliament for Ablekuma North before the president address the nation. Thank you. The last person, member for Tafo.
Last one.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me first and foremost commend the majority leader for the business statement, except to say that I filed about 4 questions. Interestingly, when I was checking the number 2, or item number 2, I was thinking that I will find Minister for Defense there. To convince myself that it was not a mistake, I went through the questions itself, and I realized that one important question that I filed, which is bordering on security in terms of the Minister of Defense superintending over the armed forces, that question has not been captured here. And so I wanted the majority leader to take note of that question that I filed. I filed 4 of them, but 3 of them has been captured here.
Yes, it could be that that question was not admitted.
The rest have to be captured. Thank you so much.
I'm saying it could be that that question was not admitted. I'm saying it could be that that question was not admitted. So, yes, let me come to you. I want to close this session.
Speaker.
Yeah, let me listen to you.
Yes, Speaker, a few observations. First of all, Majority Leader related to security arrangement, which I find important. However, I know the practice has been the fine details often is communicated through the whips, and same is ferried to colleagues on our respective platforms. So, because the details of it cannot be put out, this is about security matters. So I want to encourage the leader to take notice of that. I think about a fortnight ago, we had a committee of the whole. Leader, if I have your attention. And some important matters were discussed in proper context. It's been a while. I want to respectfully suggest to the leader of the House that these matters may have to be firmed up. Matters I cannot elucidate appropriately, as he knows. We need to come to some conclusion on these matters, which cannot be discussed at plenary, so that we can get the House appropriately prepared to receive His Excellency the President. These are very important matters, and the leader of the House, I'm sure, understands. Speaker, I've looked at the business statement. You had earlier given directive that the Minister for Energy and Green Transition should appear on Tuesday. This is conspicuously missing in the statement, and I want to find out reasons why, because earlier on the minister, I'm told, was here and had to leave for cabinet. And Speaker, you directed that we postpone the said engagement to Tuesday. That has not found expression in the statement. I'm sure it's an oversight if the leader can take good notice. We also, Speaker, a matter raised by the Honorable Kabiru, Dr. Kabiru, on the imposition of curfew at Wale Wale and its environs. I know colleagues are also concerned. There are a number of constituencies who are concerned. And the directive was the Chief Whip should take the matter up, respected Chief Whip, if you are listening, and arrange with the two ministers. Speaker, votes and proceedings today captured it, and the responsibility was placed on the head of the majority Chief Whip that he will program. In fact, as at yesterday, he has said that between yesterday and today, he will be able to confirm the dates for the two ministers to appear at closed sitting, emphasis my closed sitting, not at plenary. That is also missing, and I wish the leader of the House can relate to such matters. It's quite encouraging. I've seen a number of questions advertised, and that is good. Except to add that we will not accept excuses. The ministers will have to be notified as our orders prescribes, and we will not allow excuses. The ministers should be ready. Next week, we are expecting them in the House. We don't want one excuse or the other. I am traveling out of jurisdiction or so. No, they must come and respect this chamber and come and answer the questions duly. So having said that, I will not add more. I hope the minister, the majority leader will relate.
Thank you. Minority leader, please, the last person to.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the treasure space given me to make my own comment on the business statement ably presented by the leader of the House. Mr. Speaker, first, in the course of the week,
This is your comment. We are coming to me.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Then the House, please indulge me in 5 minutes suspension.